Hey, did you see the recent TikTok video that went viral where a woman's car started on fire and her Stanley mug was still in it the next day, almost unscathed and with cold water in it?
Fire yesterday, still has ice in it.
Stay tuned. In this video, we are going to talk about how you can build a quality product like that so that you get brand loyalty out of it like Stanley did. Here's the thing. Stanley is over 100 years old and has always been the gold standard of keeping food and drinks hot or cold for years. I know I'm talking about drinking mugs, but there are some principles that you can learn from building a really quality product into your digital business that I'm going to share with you today. If you build a good product, you will find people who will stay with you for years. Hi, my name is Andrea. I am a brand strategist and the founder of Legacy Creative. And on this channel, we help visionaries and the teams who support them build amazing world-class brands that have awesome customer experiences and journeys. If you're a person like that, be sure to subscribe because we drop a new tutorial every week. In this video, we are going to talk about 3 things you can do in your digital programs to build quality experiences similar to the Stanley Cup that didn't burn so that you can have brand loyalty. But before I go too deep into the things you should do, I am going to share some lowlights of a buying experience I recently had so that you know some things not to do and how quickly you can lose brand loyalty just by having a clunky user experience. So recently, I bought a program from a very popular online coach whose name I am going to totally leave out of this video. However, this human being, this person, has an amazing reputation. I saw them speak at an event a little while ago and I was really impressed with how great of a presenter they were. They seemed like a really stellar human. I have multiple joint friends with this person who say on a regular basis, like, wow, they're a really great human and they have a really great program and I've heard really great things about working with them. So I had trust because the person seemed great when I heard them talk. They have a great reputation and their online content was pretty on point, that I was pretty engaged by the online content. So when their offer came through to me that was like, hey, if you'd like to sign up for this program that solved one problem that I happen to have right now, and the price was something that I was willing to pay for it. So I buy the program, I give them my money. It's a low ticket offer. Clearly this is a way to get people into their universe and tribe so that they can upsell them later into a high ticket offer. First incongruency I find is that the name who I bought from and the email I get with my receipt don't have the same name at all from it. It's not even the same company name. So it's not the same company of the person I bought from, and it's not the same company name or program name that I bought from. So right away I kind of have like a red flag thinking, that's weird. I bought from person A, but what popped into my inbox with the invoice came from a completely different company and a completely different name, which means that's also what's going to be on my credit card statement. It was a bit of a red flag, but since I had so much trust in this human being, I didn't think much of it and I moved on. Later that week, I had set some time aside to go through their digital program and learn the thing that I bought the program for. So I come home one night, I had set some free time aside to go through it, and I go back into my inbox where there's an email from them that says, welcome to the program, log in here, here's your username and your password. When I went in to log in with my username and password, the entire platform with which they host their content on was completely stalled. I thought it was a me problem because frequently things like that actually are a user problem. So I tried reloading my browser a couple of times. I goofed around with it and I was like, man, I don't really know if this is a me problem or not. Flag number 2. So I go back into my email. I look at the welcome email, and when I look at the welcome email, just below where the username and password is, it says, oh, by the way, we seem to be having some tech problems. And if you want the workaround, just go to this video, it'll give you the workaround. I actually don't see this as a red flag. I work in a company where we deliver tech things all the time. Tech breaks sometimes, that happens. And when it breaks, sometimes you gotta throw a band-aid on it until you can fix it. So I thought, no problem, I will go to the workaround video, figure out the workaround, and then I can watch my videos. Now remember, by this time, I had an hour set aside to do all of this, and we've now eaten 15 minutes into my hour goofing around trying to get the content that I had set aside this hour to watch the videos and learn what I bought from the videos. So I go to the workaround video, and oddly, red flag number 2, 3, 4, I'm not even sure on what number I'm at right now, but this massive red flag pops up because the workaround video is more than 2 years old and it has no sound. And on the side of the video, I can see other people's comments from more than 2 years ago that say there's no sound on this video. So for more than 2 years, that video, that's the workaround video that they were just having some problems with, hasn't been working and there's no sound on it. Now there's a number of red flags that pop up for me. How in the world can somebody have a program that is 2 years old that you cannot log into after you purchase, which means you can't watch the videos that are the pre-work so that you can show up on the live call so that you can get value from what you just paid for, it's a problem. But hang on, it gets even better than this. Now we have a video with no sound, and to be frank with you, I'm pretty frustrated at this point because my time is one of my most valuable assets, and I'd set this time aside. We've now eaten 30 minutes into my 60 minutes that I set aside to learn it, and I realized that this problem has been going on forever. So I think to myself, this person and their organization clearly don't respect me or my time because they haven't bothered to fix this problem that they've created. Anyway, I go back to my welcome email and do, great, I'll do the next thing, which is go join the Facebook group. Now, something about the Facebook group, I thought there would be like lots of engagement in the Facebook group, lots of people in there on a regular basis, and I expected the person I just made the purchase from to be somewhat active in the Facebook group. Like I thought the videos would be mostly relevant and mostly new in the Facebook group. Well, when I log into the Facebook group, a bunch of the content from it is like 2.5 years old. So also out of date and a little bit old. And there's not a lot of engagement in this group. There's not a lot of people having quality conversations about the problem we're all trying to solve in our business. Nope, the group is pretty much stale and not that interesting. Another red flag. Okay, so now I have red flags after my purchase, which makes me start thinking about what flags did I maybe not pay attention to or ignore in my buying process before I gave this person my money. So I started thinking about like, what were those emails that they sent me before, and what was their offer, and like, did I miss something, that this is an old program that I'm just buying into and that I could get access to at any time? So I go back to my inbox again and I looked at the sales emails that were sent to me before I made the purchase. Well, all of them were written like there was time running out. Like this was a program that started on Monday, and if I didn't get in right away, I was gonna miss it, and I really needed to get in right now because there was no other time I could possibly get into the program, which isn't true because, as I just said, the Facebook page, 2 years old and stale. The video, 2 years old and stale. It was a complete marketing sequence based on a methodology that many marketers use. I just am fully against it because it seems completely unauthentic. No, it doesn't seem completely inauthentic. It is inauthentic. It's not a time-sensitive program, it's a marketing strategy. And as soon as you start using a marketing strategy on someone instead of really caring about your users, I think you start to lose trust with people. Now, here's what happens in a matter of 45 minutes on a simple evening in my house where I went from having a massive amount of respect for this human being that I had heard was an amazing person at the thing that they're good at. In 45 minutes, I lost almost all my respect for them and their organization because, number one, they were manipulative in their marketing strategies. Number two, they clearly didn't care about their clients because they had a 2-year-old video that had no sound on it and nobody had bothered to fix it. Number three, their membership site had been broken and not loading content for at least 2 years and nobody had solved or fixed it. And there were no comments from their team anywhere saying, hey, here's what we're doing to solve or fix it. And frankly, in that kind of a business with that kind of a process, it should not take more than a couple of weeks, maybe at best a couple of months to fix the problem. So where I went from having massive brand loyalty to someone, or at least brand curiosity because I wanted to get to know them, in a matter of 45 minutes, they lost all of my trust. I questioned whether or not the results they stated actually were true. I questioned the people who I had heard give me endorsements of them. I was like, I bet those people have never been through this person's program. They just like that they're charismatic and easy to talk to and seem like they know what they're talking about, but they don't actually deliver on what they say. It is a massive problem for people, and it's not something that anyone is going to share positively behind your back. They might be sharing it behind your back, but it's not going to be positively. And if you look at the example I started this video with, which was the Stanley Cup that didn't burn in the car, the reason that went viral and got a ton of brand loyalty for Stanley is because the product was quality and it was made to like withstand a fire. Yes, Stanley's been around for more than 100 years and they've always been the gold standard in keeping food hot and cold. But what you can learn from two very different experiences is how can you make a program and a product that's quality. Now, I'm going to jump into 3 things you can do in your product that will start to move you down the path to a quality product. And let me tell you, I'm going to share 3 with you, although there's way more than 3. And if you'd like more than 3 and this is something that's interesting to you, comment below and I'll do more videos like this and I'll share other things you can do. But for today, I picked 3 of my favorites and that's what we're going to walk through so you can avoid clunky customer experiences like I had. Before I jump into the 3 things you can do, I do want to make one other caveat for people. If you are new in your coaching or your digital business or whatever business you're building that requires some sort of customer journey and you don't have the resources right now to create the most epic experience ever, that's okay. And you know what? Your customers will understand that. All you need to do is be completely transparent with them by saying things like, hey, we're just getting started, we're trying this, or this is a beta program, or, you know, I've done this one-on-one before, but I've never done it in a group. So I'm gonna do my best and I'm gonna respond as best I can. And nobody does things perfect all the time. In fact, most of the time, if you're running a business that is doing well, there's gonna be things in it that don't work. And so all you need to do is just respond to the broken stuff as fast as possible and not let it sit and go stale for 2 years. I might be being dramatic in all of this, but consider that your customers are going to judge you and the way that your business operates, maybe even before they've hired you. They're going to go and look, who are you online and who are you in other places? Your customers are judging you whether you like it or not. So be aware of your brand and try to be as consistent as possible in it. In fact, one of the very first videos I ever did on this channel, and I recommend you check it out, is how much money is brand consistency costing you, or rather brand inconsistency costing you. If you are not consistent, it is going to cost you money and it is going to cost you referrals. I will tell you, this person that I had massive respect for has a lot of bad word of mouth behind the scenes, and they probably don't even know that it's costing them behind the scenes. Okay, like I said, now that I'm out of the black and white thinking and the ranting that I've been going on to, let's get into 3 solid things you can do in your program so that you don't have bad word of mouth and your brand is consistent. These 3 are not the only ones you can use. However, they are 3 of my favorites. Number 1 is design a really quality onboarding experience. The first thing your customers are going to experience after they give you money is what we call onboarding. Like, what does that first email say? And for crying out loud, does your platform work? Can they log in? Can they take their username and password and get into what they just paid you for? You really want to be thinking about the first few touch points that your clients have working with you. How can you create something that's amazingly quality and that you're responding to them and that you're showing that you care about them and that you're really, really thinking they just made an investment with you? Honor that investment. I don't care how much money they just gave you. It's an investment, and honor it. And you know what else? When people start with you, they're also giving you time and energy and trust. And you want to really, really honor that. In my example that I gave before, I set aside that hour to go and like watch those videos and learn what I needed to learn. Well, when I spent the hour not learning what I needed to learn because I couldn't get in and I found all of these other things and I lost my trust, I don't get that hour back. And my time is precious and I don't have a lot of time to reslot another hour the next day. Your customers set time aside to do the work that you gave them. And if they can't access the resources they need to do that work, bad experience. Don't do that. Make sure that your onboarding is as clean as possible and you are really thinking about how can you create something for your customers that wows them from the second they gave you their money. Because here's the deal. In that first onboarding, you're confirming, their customers are confirming that they still made a good choice deciding to work with you. How do you create amazing onboarding? Well, number 1, make sure that it works. I feel like I shouldn't have to say that, but based on my recent experience, I have to say make sure that it works. Make sure they can get into your program. The next thing you can do is have a great welcome email that welcomes them and tells the buyers what to expect and gives them some important links so they can find things. Like a great welcome email will make it one of those things where people go, great, this is amazing. I can see everything here. Another thing you can do, which oddly you actually film at the end of designing your program, but a really great welcome video goes a long way too, that says, welcome to the program. This is what you can expect. This is what you can find. Here's where you find our customer service. We're open these hours of the day to serve you. You are going to be able to find us at this location. All of the things that you need to do to welcome them, do it in a great email and a great video. Now, pro tip, as I just said, frequently that welcome email and that welcome video actually are part of the last part of your creation process. So you design everything and you get it all ready to go. And then you can go back and write the welcome email and film the welcome video because you know exactly what to tell people and where they can find the tools they need to work with you. Number 2, plan quality lessons and take time planning your quality lessons. How well you are planning the quality of the lessons and matching that with your ideal clients is what you want to be thinking about. Like, you really want to think about your clients and the lessons you're giving and design something where you can make it as simple as possible for them. So in the example that I gave with the program that didn't go so well for me, I'm a busy business owner. I have a lot of, things on my plate. I've got kids. I got other stuff going on in my life. My time is one of the things I have to guard carefully because there's a limited amount of it. So when somebody is giving me information in the form of a lesson, I really value when it's a really quality planned lesson, when they tell me what the big idea is and they tell me what to expect and they tell me how long the lesson is going to be and what I'm going to learn in the lesson and why I should want to listen to this lesson. Take the time to plan your lessons in a way that really honors and respects your clients. If you do that, you're going to have way more loyalty with your clients. You're going to have people talking behind your back in the best way possible. You're going to have people referring to you because your clients and your customers are going to understand what it is that you can do and how you can help them. Here's a pro tip tip on planning your lessons and knowing who your client is. So when you're planning your lessons and you know who your client is, you really want to think about how can you design the lessons to fit into their life, not them to fit into your program. So what I mean by that is mostly the length of time that your lessons are and how big of chunks of information you're giving to your people at a particular time. So if your avatar is busy, do shorter lessons. If your avatar is not as busy, do longer lessons. Number 3 thing you can do in your programs to make sure that you have a smooth client journey is plan quality experiences that show that you have empathy for your customers. Now, designing offers and what goes into an offer is actually a topic for a different video, but I do want to say if you are designing experiences for your customers, like say for example, you're a health and fitness program and you want to provide recipes for them, think about who your ideal client is and design the experience of like buying the food and preparing the food and knowing what it is that they need to put in those recipes as aligned with what will work for that person as possible. Again, that person invested money with you, but they're also investing time and trust, and you want to make sure that you're showing as much empathy as humanly possible. So if you have someone who's short on time and you give them recipes that are 15 minutes to prepare, they're likely to feel seen and heard. But if you have someone who's short on time and you give them recipes that are really complicated with a bunch of ingredients they have to go to a special store to find, and it's going to take an hour to make a salad dressing, they're not likely to use it, and they're not likely to feel understood, and they're likely just to feel frustrated. So you want to think about any experience you're designing inside of your program and align it as best as you can to be as empathetically focused on your clients as possible and as easy for them to implement as possible. Because if they implement it, they will rave about you behind your back. If they don't implement it and they're frustrated, they will also talk about you behind your back, and you get to decide what they're saying when they're talking about you. I hope you found this helpful, and if you did, please subscribe to the channel and hit the little bell to be notified next time we go live. Until next time, my name is Andrea. Make it a great day.